So hello, my name is Pavitra and I'm an assistant professor here in Department of Psychology in Ratnam College of Arts and Science. So I majorly take personality psychology, health psychology and research methods for UG and PG classes. So today my topic will be individual psychology, which as we can say is given by Adler. So here's a picture of Adler for your reference, and the first point is illness, which means he was a child who had rickets and other problems like pneumonia when he was a child. So we can see that he was not even physically fit or even like physically attractive when compared to other theorists of his time, which stands the first point saying he had illness in his childhood. The second point is relationship with mother and father. Unlike Freud, unlike other theorists, he really did not focus much on the relationship between parents and the child. He focused more on social interaction, as the third point is he was more into what the society makes the child rather than the parents themselves. And overcoming his own inferiorities is the third point. So as we already saw, he had a pretty good he was very ill as a child. He was not both physically attractive as well when compared to his peers. So we can clearly see that he also had this component of inferiority as a child. So he came up with this theory, he was able to come up with such a theory because he wanted to overcome his inferiority as a child. So again, he called his approach individual psychology because he wanted to focus on people or individuals as a whole, as a unique person themselves. So that's the reason why he called his approach, or he called his theories under individual psychology or individual psychology as a field. So he focused more on consciousness rather than unconsciousness. If you have studied Freud before, or any other, say Jung, or any other theorists in psychology or personality psychology in specific, you would have noticed that most of them focused on unconscious rather than conscious. Unconscious, as if you've already studied Jung, you would have known that it's more of what lies beneath the surface. But then Adler focused more on the conscious part of personality, focused more on the social interaction, what is above the surface rather than beneath the surface. The last point is adulthood and conflicts with Freud. So in the first point, the previous point itself, we saw he focused more on consciousness. That's where the first conflict between Freud and Adler comes in. So we all know Freud focused on unconscious rather than conscious. So here he had a conflict with the theoretical perspective they both had. So Adler mainly focused on conscious, they say. So moving on to the concepts of Adler, inferiority and superiority. So according to Adler, inferiority is the source of all human striving. So we need to achieve something, and it's a striving force for us human beings to achieve something. So he claims inferiority to be the source of all human striving. Normal condition, not a disorder or condition. Again, just because we feel inferior about something does not mean it is a condition, does not mean it's something that we suffer from. It's not a condition, rather it's just a normal thing which helps us strive better in our daily lives. And the third point says it's not a disorder. Again, moving on to the next point, can be real or imaginary. Again, one more important point, it need not necessarily be a physical goal. Say I need to achieve so and so marks in my next exams. Need not be that concrete of a goal. It can also be abstract. It can, say for example, one good example of this is we'll see that in fictional finalism, which means the heaven concept. People really do good deeds because they aim to go to heaven. So that's not a very abstract goal as such, but then the concept of heaven is abstract, which can also be imaginary, they say. That's why it can be real or imaginary. They are inescapable but necessary for growth. So what he claims is that every human beings are inescapable. They always have this concept of inferiority within them, and it is necessary for growth and development, they say. So compensation, motivation to overcome inferiority. So according to Adler, compensation is a concept where you can overcome your inferiority, he says. So in order to overcome your inferiorities, you are striving, which is a process. Adler claims it to be compensation. So infant example, not genetic though. So he also claims one important point, this inferiority or this feeling of inferiority in human beings is very innate, but it's not genetic. You'll have to get the terms right. Genetic in the sense it's passed on from your parents, but then it's innate means it not necessarily be passed on from the parents, but then you have it from birth. So that's what he claims when in terms of innate but not genetics. So Moving on to the next, what is a complex? When things get complex, when things get difficult, it will be termed as a complex or condition. Say we already saw inferiority. Here inferiority complex is when a condition, when individuals are unable to compensate the normal inferiority feelings. So previous slide we saw inferiority feelings are very innate and are normal in human beings. So once they are not able to compensate it, when they are unable to compensate these inferiority feelings or unable to achieve their goals, they will be having some complex called inferiority complex. Again, there are two complexes according to Adler. One is inferiority complex and superiority complex. So inferiority complex is something when the compensation process is below average, or when they are unable to compensate the inferiority complex. But then what will happen if they overcompensated? What will happen if they overachieve the goals, and what will happen then? That is something called superiority complex. Superiority complex, as the slide says, condition when individuals overcompensate their inferiority feelings. Characteristics of undercompensated inferiority. Basically what undercompensated inferiority means, it's when the person is suffering from an inferiority complex. So here it says poor opinion of oneself. They wouldn't be feeling good about oneself, feels helpless, they might be very helpless, they require help and they constantly seek help from others around them, unable to cope with the demands of life. Basically they won't be able to do normal things in life that they are supposed to do. They might be not able to cope with the demands of life, they say. So what are some of the causes of this inferiority complex? So there are three major causes given by Adler himself. So one is organic inferiority. Organic inferiority is something that is very physical in nature. One good example for you to understand organic inferiority is, say a handicapped person, a person who lost his limbs, say a hand or a leg in an accident, might be very inferior, might consider himself to be inferior and consider himself to be helpless and things like that. So that can be a cause of inferiority complex. Since it's come from a physical cause, it can be even illness, not necessarily an accident, rather say a heart problem, a stomach problem, a liver problem, anything that is caused by your physical body is told to be organic inferiority. So the next thing is spoiling. Spoiling is basically based on parenting. So you spoil a kid by giving them all resources they want. They will not be able to cope up with the demands of life once they come out into their adulthood. So spoiling by parents or by the society around them is also told to be a cause of inferiority complex, especially when the child moves into an adulthood stage. And neglect. Not only supporting them with extra resources that they want, but also neglecting the resources that they are supposed to get. Say for example, in spoiling we saw the children are supplied with resources. Whatever they want, they will get it immediately. But then in neglect, they won't be having the resources that they need. Basic needs are just not met. So in neglect also, they might have a higher tendency to get inferiority complex. Clinic near circus. I have included a last point near clinic near circus because it was told by the biographers of Adler that he set up his clinic back then near a circus. So what he did was, most of his clients were gymnasts and the people who work in the circus. So he was able to study the organic inferiority much way better when in the gymnasts, and the people who work in the circus even better. Yeah, so that's with Adler inferiority complex and superiority complex. Yes.